since you born. Then you live and die. So if tomorrow never comes, it comes at no surprise. Looking death into his eyes, yeah, I witness guys start to recognize, analyze their own demise. Some people wasting time, walking around hypnotized, blinded by success and breast, but can't identify what's real with fake because the money just intensify. Jealousy plus the hate that equals genocide.
Hey, welcome back to Life on Diagonal. I am your host, EJ Briz, and you're back for another episode. Okay. I see you. I see you. So, what I want to talk about is the hard conversations. What I mean by the hard conversations is pretty much, self-explanatory. The conversations that we need to have as as an adults with each other, but for some reason we're either too prideful or we just scared to have these conversations. Um, Not only in uh, you know, like friendships, relationships, business relationships. Um, I seen a lot of relationships crumble because either both individuals or groups or one person didn't want to have that hard conversation. And with me, I've growing up, I've never had the problem of having the hard conversation. I feel like if somebody has done something wrong to me, I'm gonna let them know. I feel like if they come to me and let me know that I've done something to them, I'm going to sit back and listen to them. I may have a rebuttal if I don't agree, but I do appreciate the hard conversations. Um, I've seen people lose friendships because one friend done something, and if you do something, a lot of times we realize what we've done. But uh I talk to my co-host still all the time, and we've talked about this before on Thought Ops, um that pride is a mother. A lot of people do not want to put their pride to the side and just admit that they made a mistake. And I feel like as an adult, there comes a point in time where we have to realize that some things warrant an apology. And just because you apologize, it doesn't mean that you're less than a person. And a lot of times it doesn't mean just because you apologize for something doesn't mean that the relationship will go back to being what it was. But at least if the relationship doesn't go back to what it was, and you and this person cut ties, they can always say, well, I had the conversation, I talked to that person, let that person know what happened, how I was feeling, we discussed it, and we couldn't move forward, but we had the conversation. And even it's like, I feel like with relationships, I'm trying to think of not relationships between a man and a woman, woman to man, woman to woman, man to man, however you choose to live your life. I'm one of them type of people. However you choose to live your life, that's on you. I'm not judging you, because who am I to judge? Um, all I have to say is please don't take relationship advice from me, because especially when it comes to romantic, that's what I'm looking for, romantic relationship. Um, so even with romantic relationships, there's times where I feel like you should sit down and have a talk with your partner if something is bothering you. Now, me, I know I've heard, but I can see it myself. I know at times I can be difficult, and I'm working on it. I'm not perfect, so I am working on it. I will hear you out and I will hear what you have to say, and I will make an assessment, and I will listen to see, if that's reasonable. That's uh, I'll try to work on it. But working on a situation, um, you know, can't just be one sided as well. I think it takes both individuals, to work on each other or on themselves, in order for things to work. Um, but I feel like with the tough conversations, especially with business, um, I don't want to put too much of my business out there because I don't want to ruffle any feathers. But there have been, situations that I've dealt with business wise where I felt um, people could have had a conversation with me, and I would have took it as, okay, I understand, and this is what we need to do, instead of not having those conversations and try to slide things behind your back and do things behind your back, and then you know act surprised and act like they don't know what's going on, and yet and still they want to be in your face speaking and acting cool and act like everything is okay. And a lot of times, when you're doing business, especially when things are local, sometimes you have to bite the bullet because you still may need these relationships, or you don't, from word of mouth, you don't want it to mess up other relationships. I feel like you can bite the bullet and let some things slide, but not let everything slide. Some things need to be checked, and that's what I'm learning, is to be more um I'm learning to let um some things slide, because I'm one of the type of people, I'm checking everything. Like, if I don't like something, if I don't like a person's attitude, if I don't like how a person is talking to me, if I don't like how a person is treating me, I'm letting that person know off top. Everybody always talk about, well, keep it real, but then when you keep it real with people, they can't take keeping it real. And I don't know if it rubs people the wrong way, or if I'm just too forceful. I know I deal with it, and I've dealt with it at my job. I'm not going to be a pushover. I'm not going to let anybody bully me. I can't stand bullies. I'm not going to let other people that I know get bullied or get mistreated or misused. That's one of the things that bother me. Because I guess because I'm a good person. I mean, we all say we good people, but I've been told I'm a good person, so I'm just gonna take that as face value. I'm a good person. Sometimes we need to reevaluate that too, make sure that we are actually good people. But I just hate to see other good people get mistreated, because there are a lot of people, you know, that they was raised off of survival and not off of love. So they're looking for any type of way they could latch on to a meal ticket, how they could use someone for their personal gain and just dispose of them once they get what they want. And I'm really not like that. I've never been like that. I'm real big on loyalty. Um, I never played both sides of the fence. Never will play both sides of the fence. Um, there are people that I have in my life that I care for deeply. People, like family members, friends, and there's not one person out there that could ever say that I've done anything that where I snaked them, which never, never. Um, so it's just like, if I know that these people in my life, if I know that they have an issue or there's a problem with them and another individual, honestly, I'm not playing cool with that individual, because how does that look? And this is just my opinion on how I live life. I know other people may feel differently about this. Um, but I just can't live with myself knowing that, people that I care about the most have an issue with people, and then I'm acting cool and I'm acting like everything is all good. It's like, nah, it's just like, I don't even see why a lot of times people even approach me knowing that they have issues with um, individuals that I'm cool with, because I just don't do that. Especially with it's people that they've always had my back, or when I called them and I needed something, they was there for me. You can't really take that lightly, because there's not too many good people out here. So when you run into good people, you learn to value that. And it's just crazy because a lot of times people lose good people, um, because they're they it's like they don't want to have the hard conversations. Um, we all do things wrong. Especially when you're dealing with people, working with people, being around people, you don't get along with people all the time. I know I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm gonna be talking about my co-host on Thought Ops a lot on the channel. So because we talk every day, we're around each other all the time, talk every day. So, but there's times where I've had disagreements with him. He's had disagreements with me. We listen to what each other had to say. We state how we feel and we move on. And I feel like, being a mature grown up, that's how a lot of times that's how it should be. Even if you, like I said earlier in this, earlier when I was in this episode, even if you have these conversations and, both of y'all agree to cut ties, at least y'all can say like, well, we had the conversation and we just came to the, agreement that it's not going to work out. So my hope for the people that's watching this or listening to this is, don't be scared to have the hard conversation. Even if it means that you have to cut ties with people. I feel like more than often that if you have these conversations with people, it will really help out the situation more than it will hurt the situation. So just be mindful that you know you're not the only one with feelings. Other people have feelings too, and you're not always the victim. You have to recognize when we're the villain sometimes, and we just have to keep it moving. So if you value people, you value their friendship, relationship, romantic relationship, and something comes up or arises, don't be scared to have the hard conversations. And that's all I got to say with me rambling on this second episode. So be on the lookout for my next episode, and I appreciate you taking your time out to listen to me. Peace.
Think about it. First you born, then you live and die. So if tomorrow never comes, it comes at no surprise. Looking death into his eyes, yeah, I witness guys start to recognize, analyze their own demise. Some people wasting time, walking around hypnotized, blinded by success, impressed but can't identify what's real with fake because the money just